Hey everybody, Christopher Greene, AMTV 1000X Life Principles. I'm here with my father, John Greene, today. You can see he's the better looking half here. We're here to talk about real estate, the island project, also what the central banks are doing. Dad, what is your opinion on central bank policy, what the Federal Reserve is doing with interest rates, and basically the shenanigans that we've been seeing over the last few years?
Well, I think shenanigans is a good way to put it, Chris. We don't really have any price for money. We can't price it normally or nominally. So the Fed doesn't have any choice now but to raise. Just a question of how high they can go, and they probably can't go very high, right? So I would expect a couple of, they're going to do what they've talked about doing. They're going to raise rates probably 200 basis points. I don't think they can go a lot higher than that, and that's probably going to happen over the next couple of years. But
so this has created giant asset bubbles. What have been the repercussions of this? What are you seeing in Hawaii with real estate, and what is your opinion with stocks as well? Like, obviously we're seeing huge wealth disparity. We're seeing wealth transfer to few hands. We've seen the top billionaires worldwide, I think, accumulate over $1 trillion of wealth just over the last couple of years.
well, look, it's been a great thing for billionaires, right? It's been a good thing for a lot of people that have been on the train, but a lot of people they can't get on the train. Okay, so they've been priced out of this market. Long term is not a good thing. Short term, in the next couple of years, I would expect that things are going to cool off. Just a question of how much. Could we have a drop in real estate prices? You bet. So none of that would surprise me. Long term, if you're talking about the islands of Hawaii, where I'm a real estate broker, you're buying a piece of paradise. You just have to buy it right and work with somebody that can help you do that.
Do you see prices going higher? Where do you think we are in the market today?
Look, I don't expect prices to go much higher than where we're at today, but again, it's based on the market that you're in. But from a Hawaii standpoint, we're a unique part of the world. Lots of money is going to flow in. They're attracted to the idea of Hawaii. The work at home kind of new policy or program is going to continue on. So I think good things for Hawaii, but you've got to pick your spots for sure.
Yeah, and the biggest change I've seen, I'm living proof of this, is the remote work, remote lifestyle change in demographics, which I believe is a permanent change. So we're seeing decentralized living. In fact, the founder of Airbnb is now just living out of Airbnbs permanently. And we're seeing a lot of young workers with young families like myself move into places like Maui, move into places like Honolulu, Oahu, where we have brokerage, and we also have a brokerage established in Maui, Hawaii, as part of the Island Project, which we'll get into in a minute. But I think this is like a full-blown demographic shift that is permanent, which in my opinion is going to help keep inflation pushing higher, because it used to be that you couldn't come to Maui or Oahu and work there as a businessman, but you can now. So I think that from an income standpoint, if you have high levels of income and you have a choice to move from the city or live remotely or maybe live in multiple locations, we'll be seeing more of that as well.
Look, if you can afford to do that and live that kind of lifestyle, it's a brave new world, and it's a great thing for a lot of people. And if you listen to the Airbnb guys, obviously they're strong believers in just what you're talking about. So if you've got the capital, you have the flexibility to live and work anywhere. It's a brave new world, and I don't think it's going to change. I don't think we're not going to go back to where we were before. And the world is going to have to continue to print money no matter what. They can tighten now. They can raise basis points, maybe a couple hundred points, but what are they going to do after that? They can't go any higher. They'd collapse everything. So eventually they've got to do what they always do, which is print money, and that's what causes the inflation that we're in right now, and that's basically their job.
Do you see another potential 2008, 2009 coming in the future? A lot of people are saying that we're in a tech bubble and that we might see another major drawdown. Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's coming, or do you think it's different this time?
Look, you never want to say it's different this time. We've both been around. We were both, the last 20 years, there's been the 2000 tech bubble. We run into 9/11. We run into 2007, 2008. Most people didn't expect any of those things to ever happen. So you never say never. Could we wake up tomorrow and the market be down 20%? Yeah, It could. Could it be down 10%? Could we have some kind of external event blow everything up? Of course we can. But one thing that will happen, if any of those things happen, is the Federal Reserves across the world are going to have to unite and do just what they always do, which is print a bunch of money. So status quo, but it wouldn't surprise me to see the stock market be down substantially from where it's at today.
Okay. You know, I get a lot of my entrepreneurial spirit from my father, so maybe you could talk a little bit about your background. My dad was the president owner of Greene Foods for years. This was a business that my grandfather had started, my late grandfather, God bless his soul, who started out of the Great Depression and built a manufacturing company literally from nothing. So we're always talking about, you know, starting from scratch. He came from a large family. He was basically man of the house, proving that it was possible with a lot of entrepreneurs in America. He became a self-made millionaire in his later years. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and your experience in that business as well?
Well, yeah, look, I was a business major and an accounting major up at San Luis Obispo. Grew up in Long Beach, and I was blessed to get involved in the family business, which was a food manufacturing business, and blessed to have great partners, great people around me, and we were able to build what my dad started with into something that was pretty substantial. And eventually we sold it to an investment group out of Boston called J.W. Childs.
I remember that.
And they merged us with another company called International Diverse Foods. And I was able to work with good people there as well. Was on the board of directors of International Diverse Foods, and that was kind of the end of my career there.
So tell the audience too what we did. Who are our customers? In-N-Out, Burger King.
Well, I tell you what.
What types of products?
We were manufacturers, so we weren't distributors. We had about a 70,000 square foot plant in City of Industry, California, and we had a plant about double that size in Nashville, Tennessee, when the two companies were merged together. So, no, we didn't have any kind of retail influence. We were all institutional. So we would sell to, our big customers were the fast food chains like Burger King, In-N-Out Burger, McDonald's, Carl's Jr., and then we had hundreds of other smaller customers that would, and also big distributors that would distribute out to the restaurant and the hotel industry. So that was our niche. A lot of times it's just hard to imagine how much mayonnaise and salad dressings and those kind of things. It was kind of our key product line that somebody could make, but we made hundreds of thousands of gallons of all those kind of products every week.
Yeah, and what was notable to me as a kid was the pickles. So my dad always used to come home smelling like pickled brine, because you can never really get that off of you when you're in these types of business. But also the burgers at In-N-Out, which is like my favorite burger. Right when we got off the plane from Maui, we go straight over there, and I add the pickles, which used to be private label Greene Foods. Now, Dad, you also retired early. And I want you to talk about this and what that experience was like, because I personally don't believe in retirement. I believe in doing what you love for the rest of your life and making the most of the day and not doing things that you don't like to do and managing your own time. Talk about that. After you sold the company, you took a little bit of a break. How old were you when you retired? What did you learn? And is there any piece of advice that you could give our audience, having actually lived that and accomplished that dream?
Well, yeah, I was fortunate for sure to be able to retire at 47. But I tell you what, for the first few years, and I was kind of in retirement for 5 to 7, 8 years, right? So it was great. You could kind of do all the things that you thought you wanted to do. Things like travel, improve your golf game, meet new friends, basically chill out and have kind of a good life, right? So, but Chris, that only lasts so long.
Yeah. So it wasn't all cracked up to what they tell you it's supposed to be.
No.
This dream that we're sold, which I believe is an illusion and a fraud. I mean, you did it, and was it what everyone told you it was going to be?
Well, let's put it this way. For the last 20 plus years or so, I was blessed for a little brief period of time when I could be quote, retired, right? And do some other things and travel and play golf. Meet some new friends, but it didn't last for that long. I think as humans, we need to do something. We need to be creative. We need to have a passion.
Yeah, you need to have a purpose.
So you need to have a purpose. So no, I'm not sold on the line that we that's kind of imprinted in our kind of the DNA of the United States.
Sure, and the propaganda.
The propaganda that we're sold. I think if you find something you love, you do it as long as you can. You do it for the rest of your days. If you want to switch gears and do something else, then I think that's great as well. But the human animal, we want to continue to create and perform and find things that we like to do. So
yeah, absolutely. So on that note, what is your vision? And talk a little bit about the Island Project, what we're doing with our blockchain academy. And by the way, I'll include information in the box below on my father. Join us at bitcoinrich.com as well, because you'll have access to the first seed rounds and the lottery system as we release projects, project development, and the portfolio that we've established in not just Oahu, Maui, Hawaii, but all the islands. There's my handsome son over there. Could you tell us a little bit about the Island Project itself, why you think that's valuable, and the opportunities that you see in your neck of the woods today?
Well, look, what we want to do with the Island Project is bring people into Hawaii that would love to be there, would love to have a piece of it, would like to own some real estate, but they don't know how to do it. They don't have anybody to guide them. They don't have somebody with local knowledge. So we're going to fit that bill. And the Island Project is going to be attractive because we can invest in just about anything. We can buy land, we can buy beautiful homes that we can Airbnb, we can buy oceanfront condos on Maui, we can move to the other islands and do the same there as well. So there's really nothing stopping us. There's no limits to what we can do as far as the Island Project goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at other locations like Arizona. And of course, our DAO, our Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and our blockchain ISIL will be backed by this physical land real estate, which has never been done before in history. So it presents an amazing decentralized opportunity that's never existed. Because the biggest objection I get, Dad, and you even objected to this before, you're like, well, Chris, if I own Bitcoin, what is it backed by? Now, of course, Bitcoin is backed by decentralization, mining technology, algorithms, limited supply, fixed monetary policy, all these kinds of things. But our project is backed by actual land, actual real estate, and cash flows. So let's talk about that as well. Where do you see the cash flow opportunities? There's a lot of condos, there's homes that can be micro-shared, rented at a high clip. How do you see this factoring into the portfolio on the island of Oahu, Maui, as we branch off to the other islands, and also in real estate across the United States and internationally, where there's a ton of opportunity in Central America right now, places like El Salvador?
Well, look, I mean, obviously we want to cash flow anything that we do, and in particular real estate as well. So as far as the Island Project goes and the islands, we've got some very valuable real estate. They're not making any more of it. I know that's a cliche. People want to come to the islands. So look, over time, we feel like we're going to have a lot of appreciation. Based on the local knowledge that we have, we're going to make sure we buy things right, okay, for our clients and for our portfolio. But in the meantime, we're there to create income every month, every year, every day. So we're going to go out, we're going to be picky, but our portfolio would be a mix of some beautiful properties that we can Airbnb for top dollar. It would also be a mix of some condos, okay, oceanfront condos. I know where those are, okay, and I know the high yielders on the islands. They can be tricky, but we're going to have some of those in the portfolio, and we could have other things in our portfolio as well. We could have commercial property. We could have really just about anything. But the key is to find it, buy it right, and bring it into the portfolio.
Yeah, and I always say follow the billionaires. You know, don't bet against the Fed, but follow the billionaire class. And what are the billionaires doing? Jeff Bezos just bought a new place, several different parcels in Maui for $65 million. Oprah, many other technologists, we're seeing a ton of money move into the islands, and not just with real estate, but with actual agriculture. land. They're, buying cattle grazing areas. They're doing light farming. So follow their lead. There's a reason why they're moving into this space, because in my opinion, again, if you go to parts of California, you'll pay $30 million for the same house that's going for $5 million right now in Maui, or, $6 million or even $8 million in Oahu. So I really believe as a part of decentralization, the remote work environment, the fact that everybody's online, the fact that there's all this inflation, people are going to be parking their assets and their money into real assets, which is why I view, Island Project to be so valuable.
Chris, I'm on board. I agree with you 100% in that regard. So, look, the islands have never been, when it comes to Hawaii, they back in the mid 60s, early 70s, they really started to pick up. Money started to flow in to the islands because obviously people could get there. Okay, we had the jet engine innovation, jet travel, but over the last couple of years, it's opened the islands up to a lot larger universe, and a lot, like you said, a lot of new money is flowing into the islands. I don't think that trend's going to stop. I think it's going to continue. So we're going to be a part of it. We'd like people that come to the Island Project to be a part of it as well, and we're going to make sure that we make it work for us and for anybody that wants to come in and partner with us.
Okay. Dad, how can our audience contact you, and could you give us some information on that?
Well, look, I'm a real estate broker, licensed in Hawaii. I have been for a number of years, and I currently work out of Oahu. Also transact business on Maui and the Big Island. You can reach me at 808-442-2934. I'm a broker with List Sotheby's International Realty in Honolulu, and I also own a website called LuxuryHawaiiListings.com, www.luxuryhawaiilistings.com. Pay me a visit anytime.
All right, guys, mahalo, aloha, and God bless everyone tuning in. Jesus Christ is King. Comments, questions in the box below. Son, anything you'd like to say?
Jesus Christ is King, and follow us online.
Awesome. Love you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to join our world-class blockchain academy at bitcoinrich.com, enter the promo code, what is it, son? Lambo. Save $100 off today. Learn everything you can about Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the other hosts of blockchains, DeFi, smart contracts. Learn how to create those cash flows potentially. Change your life. Go all in with us at bitcoinrich.com. Link below. That's promo code Lambo. Get in today.
Join Bitcoin Rich School today. Promo code Lambo.